What's happening, Hardscapers? Today is paver lay day. Let's get into this. Okay, today we're laying this paver patio. But before we get started laying this paver patio, we have to prepare our base. If you've seen the previous two videos from this series, we've already torn down a deck, done an excavation, and completed our step build. So let's get started with our base preparation. This thing has done me good besides the hinges shearing off there, and now we gotta fix that somehow. So I want to stop this here to show you that we actually use EPDM pond liner against the foundation. Because we're using open graded base up against the foundation, that means water is going to go right through, especially with our permeable jointing material that we're going to be using on this project. We add in about 3 feet of pond liner against that foundation, so any water that does work its way down is going to hit that pond liner and get out into our subsoil enough into our base that we're not going to have to worry about it against our foundation. We've got all of our base in. That was 10 yards yesterday that came in, and 6 yards of soil that came out. So that big mound is gone. You can see that I put down some Type S mortar mix as well as some 3/4 clear into that subsoil, kind of like I did beyond here, and compacted it. And that Type S mortar mix is going to draw out the moisture that was, especially with all the rain that we've been getting, and create a much more firm and solid surface to start to build on top of. So after that, we put down our non-woven geotextile, and then we start to build up our base. And in this case, we're doing 4 inches of, once again, open graded base, compact it, and then we put our biaxial geogrid. We overlap 6 inches, and then another 4 inches of 3/4 clear, our screed layer of HPB, and then our paver. So this is a good cross section of what you see here with the non-woven geotextile, the 3/4 clear 4 inches, the biaxial geogrid, the 3/4 clear 4 inches, and then the HPB there before our pavers. Now that our base is prepared, we can start to screed, and we're using our 1 inch outside diameter steel pipes to set our grade, and then to put our HPB or 1/4 inch clean chip on top of our base material, our 3/4 inch clean. And we've already got the height of our patio figured out, and that was based on our step installation. So we already know where we need to be for height of our patio, and that's just at the base of our step. Now we just need to decide what we're going to do with our slope. And in this scenario, it's fairly obvious that we're just gonna apply 1/8 of an inch per foot slope away from the foundation towards the grass line. We're opting for a 1/8 of an inch per foot slope as opposed to a 1/4 of an inch per foot slope, which would be the minimum or maximum we would go with our slope, because we have a smooth paver, so it's not textured and it's not going to hold on to water. And for our joint material, we're going to be using a semi-permeable jointing compound, so water's going to go right through the joints, so we're not too worried about having a minimal slope on this patio. You can also see throughout this video there is that foundation waterproofing strip going along the foundation there. For this foundation, there were 3 different levels of actual waterproofing, so everything that you see above our installation is just going to get ripped out. We started our installation from the left side of our steps because we knew we had 13 inches, which is the length of our border between the step and that walkway that was already installed there. So it just made sense to square off of this, and then wherever we land on the far right side of this patio against that fence line is where we're going to stop it. We hope for a 4 to 6 inch extension of that base to that fence line for us to be able to install our concrete edge restraint against that fence line, and then to top it off with some decorative stone to clean up that area. When we're laying, we're trying to minimize the number of 4 corners, which is 4 intersections of the pavers coming together. So we want to break up those lines, and we're also trying to minimize the length of those lines to about 3.5 feet. We're already well along the way here. I ran out of HPB here, so we're just going to, we got some now, so top this up, lay to this area, and then we have a shed pad, and we got some cuts to do around the steps, and then just lay this area to the gate here, and then we are all set. We have our drainage pipe in there, nice little clean out, and this is open graded base with a slight extension. I would like a little bit more, but we're gonna stick with this, put our concrete edge along here and fix our line a little bit there. But these are all small details that we do to clean up a project, clean up this backyard, get this all sorted. Once our concrete edge is in, you can see we got our Geogrid poking out there. Concrete edge is gonna go right into that, give it a little bit more stability. But then our concrete edge goes in, and then our jointing compound. We'll be cleaning this up. I think I need new boots now. Now here's one issue that we ran into on this project. You can see the height difference between our walkway and our patio. Now, when I installed this walkway 4 or 5 years ago for this client, this was installed to the existing grade, so matching the height of that grass line at the end. It didn't consider that we would be eventually tearing down this deck and doing a patio and steps with them, which is a completely different grade. So with this, we're gonna tear out those pavers, which I know were built on gator base, and we're gonna raise them a couple of inches to get us to that height of patio and slope it away from the patio towards that fence line, and just improve the slope of this walkway to account for how much we had to raise it to match the height of our patio. It's time to do some roller compacting. Now, one thing I do get asked with installing interlock is the discrepancies, the differences in height when you lay pavers. You're gonna have some. That could be based on your screed layer, could be based on the tolerances by the manufacturer. And the roller compactor does a really good job, or just compacting in general, to be able to mitigate those. I always say at most 1/8 of an inch. Other than that, you'd want to lift and re-level that stone and put it back down. Lower quality manufacturers, you're gonna have higher discrepancies. So if you're using something like a synthetic base, you might want to go with a really high quality paver manufacturer for your product to lay, because you're not able to compact that on top of that synthetic base there. So after roller compacting, we've got 1 and 2 large rectangles that cracked. I would say that's fairly somewhat normal amount in a about 650, 700 square foot patio here, but it's always a pain to get to those and get them up. That's part of the job. And then I always go through the borders and just make sure that they're looking nice there. I compact along the middle of them, but you can see even this one has to be moved in a bit. And I just make sure my border's nice and straight before I start to do the jointing compound. And I think we're looking good. Besides that, maybe a couple lines I want to double check, because once we start putting in the jointing compound, it's set for what we've got. Roller compactors are expensive, but they really do make a huge difference for a job like this, rather than having to put the pad on the compactor. No doubt those two would have cracked with the plate compactor, and probably more without the roller compactor. Sucks we have to replace 2, but that is what it is. With the jointing compound, we're doing a semi-permeable resin-based jointing compound. So I like to compact prior to installing it, and then the consolidation of that jointing compound comes with the water. with polymeric sand, I like to compact during the installation of the polymeric sand, so sweep, compact, and that seats your pavers into the bedding layer. Though technically you're always supposed to do it before, just I don't like the fact that it does throw off your lines a little bit and you have to readjust. And if it's already seated into the bedding layer, it's harder to adjust. So you can even see this line I need to fix here, and just double check a few other lines here. With this semi-permeable jointing compound, we install it with water, and it is about 3 to 4 times more expensive than polymeric sand, and it takes about 2.5 times longer to install it. So it is a premium product, but I do like the way it has held up over the years since I've been using it compared to polymeric sand. Not to mention that it is semi-permeable, so it's perfect for an open graded base application. You can see that we're using a broom to install this, probably better with a squeegee, but a broom works in a pinch. It's just very time consuming going through, adding water to it, sweeping it around, and then going back and making sure that you're at the level that you need to be with a little bit of a top up of that material and more water to consolidate that material down to the bottom of the joint, and making sure that we have that full depth of this jointing compound through that joint. And additionally, once we've actually gone ahead and completed this, the next day we like to come back and tool the joints, making sure that they are below the chamfer of our pavers throughout. So I'll just go through. It takes a couple of hours for this 650 square foot patio, but it makes that end result perfect by tooling the joint, just scraping it down, making sure it's nice and uniform, consistent throughout our project. And from our existing project where we had this deck that was falling apart, pergola on top of the deck, and this shed that we took down in the back corner, we changed this entire area to a nice natural stone block step coming out of that back door down to an L-shaped patio with our pergola back on it, and a nice walkway entranceway for this project. Now we do have full-length videos on all the topics that you've seen throughout this video, including installing open graded base, choosing your slope, installing this jointing compound, how to screed, and a bunch of different topics that you can find linked in the description below if you want to go more in depth on any of these topics. And at the top here is our full playlist from this project. If you want to see how we demolished this deck, excavated, and installed these steps as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment below any questions that you have, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more hardscaping content like this. Thank you so much for watching.